All right, we're back in the closet, sort of. Michael's back.
In the rabbit hole.
It's been a few weeks. The rabbit hole, that's right. We got some Manhattans with some good cherries.
Luxado.
Luxados?
Luxado.
Luxado.
Luxado. Imported from Italy. In their own specially formulated liqueur. Fresh
really?
Italian, yeah.
Huh.
And they're designed for drinks such as a Manhattan with Knob Creek rye. That's good.
I love Knob Creek.
A good Knob Creek is solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Old Faithful.
It is.
So
it's
yeah.
so good.
Usually we have bourbon. We mixed it up this time.
We did.
We did still have bourbon. It's just
has
mixed.
stuff in it. It's usually just neat.
So what's your... I know Ange likes bourbon and Coke. Which is just so... I don't know. College?
She likes Jack and Coke. Jack and Coke is her face. She loves
it's not
Jack
bourbon.
Daniels and Coke.
It's not whiskey and Coke. It's Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke. But we go cheap.
Which is either...
We go to Evan Williams and Coke and call it Jack and Coke, and I bring it to her.
Which is so college or so NASCAR. I'm not sure which one. It's one of those two. And like Evan Williams is taking the NASCAR or college experience and like dumbing it down even further.
Yeah, that's what we do. Hey, it's not too far off taste-wise when you're mixing it with Coke. So why would you pay $29 for it when you can pay $12.99?
Well, I'm not sure I have anything. Just degrees of not good, I guess.
Yeah.
And after two of those, your taste buds are basically down for the count anyway.
Right.
So.
Who cares?
Yeah.
She can drink a bourbon.
That's like saying Stoli. Oh, yeah. Or Popoff. Oh, they're both Russian. They're both fine.
They're both Russian.
No. No.
Vodkas, though. Do you drink vodkas ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like vodkas. She'll drink gin in the summer. Loves gin when it gets warm.
My favorite vodka as a backbone to a drink is Grey Goose.
Grey Goose.
But it's so, pricey.
It is.
That if I have a special occasion, I'll get Grey Goose. Otherwise, it's Tito's.
Tito's is my favorite. Tito's or Kettle One, actually.
See, I'd go with Tito's simply because it's kind of an American craft.
That's why I like it out of Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And the other one that I really like is Reykjavik. It's an Icelandic
I don't think I've had
vodka. Guys down near Patrick Street Bridge, the liquor store down there.
Yeah.
Here in Charleston, turned me on to Reykjavik, and I'm like, what do you mean an Icelandic vodka?
Yeah, what's that mean? I've never heard that before. An Icelandic vodka?
No, Icelandic, made in Iceland.
Icelandic.
Reykjavik is the capital.
I got you.
And so it's a vodka made in Iceland. And I'm thinking, what do the Icelanders know about making vodka? It was really good. I have not found it in this area other than there.
I have to try that.
And they don't always have it. I'll look for it.
I'd love it. And it seems like there's cold. That's the Russia, Iceland. Then how to make a vodka?
It's the cold.
I don't know. Those are cold climates, right? They're mainly cold climates. Which I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if they're water or how they filtrate it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, and that's the shtick with that because they use glacier water.
There you go.
As part
Nothing's
of
better than glacier water. Except maybe Canal River water, filtered, of course.
Oh my God. That would be in Pop-Off. No, I actually gave you something to drink recently that had glacier water in it. Do you remember? And you drank it so fast, there was none. The next time I came over, there was none left.
I drank it that fast?
Yeah.
I was scolded for
Gave
drinking
you a bottle of Driftless Glen bourbon from Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Yes, that was very good.
Baraboo's kind of northern Wisconsin, and the water is fed by its glacier-fed springs.
It was very good.
So, Yeah, it was
Good.
great.
And I've gotten better though with my bottles that are like above $30. I'm hanging on to them.
Yeah.
I'm hanging on.
You're
to
not
them.
drinking it like
I'm not drinking them.
Jack
No,
and Coke?
I'm not. No,
Good.
I'm not pouring them in. No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna let it build up a little bit.
You don't like. And I don't. This is going to come across sounding horrible. I know this.
Cool. That's great.
But you know what my issue is?
What? Which one?
No. Okay, fair point. Fair point. I don't think I have any bottles of bourbon under $30 at this point. So like,
But that's where you're my mentor, because it's not like you go out and buy a bunch of bottles. Sometimes you probably do, but my point is you don't.
when I travel,
Right.
I've come home with like 5 bottles. Like, oh, I want the best craft distillery out of Indiana. I want the best craft distillery out of Iowa.
Absolutely.
What's the best Ohio bourbon you can give me? And people think, how can Ohio give you any bourbon? No, man.
Everywhere has good bourbon. I mean,
Everywhere you can find good bourbon. It's not quite the aged bourbon that you get in Tennessee and Kentucky.
Sure.
And the longer it's aged in oak barrels, obviously, the more complex the flavor. But we've had some really good craft stuff
my gosh.
on my trips. I'll
Yeah.
pick up stuff for my trips.
But that's your bottles. You buy good bottles, but they last because you don't drink all of one and then get another. It might sit there for months.
No question. No question.
3/4 of the way full.
No question.
Unless I'm just having a bad night, that's the only time I'll end up getting into nightcap into something good, which is probably a waste if it's a nightcap. But sometimes you're the
Correct.
only one awake. You never have that where you're the only one awake. It's quiet, and you're like, you know what? I can't fall asleep. I can go chug some Evan Williams, knock myself out. Or I can just grab me, a little bit of some Smooth Ambler or something, some Knob Creek, just a snort,
Just a smidge.
just a smidge, and sip it, take it in, close it out.
Number one, I can tell you that never in my life have I ever been in a situation where one of the two choices facing me in my life is I can chug a bunch of Evan Williams. So that's point number one.
Not chug, do some shots.
Even in my darkest, dankest hours of my life, when I feel like there's no way out, one way out is never Evan Williams.
Well,
Am I getting my point across?
Yes, but be careful. Be careful.
Never
Never
say
say
no.
never, because you never know. You may be sitting under a bridge with some Evan Williams one day. Going, what happened to me?
You can have a bottle of Evan Williams, or you can chew your arm off and suck the blood in order to get liquids. Which would you rather have? The choice is yours. Give me the saw.
Give you this all.
Give me the rusty saw now to
This-
saw my arm off in order to drink my own blood to hydrate rather than the...
Evan Williams
Evan Williams.
was a tip from someone. I won't mention his name. He's a friend. I mentioned his name earlier tonight.
Current
We were
friend or former friend?
Calm down. He's a current friend because we don't talk that often.
And now I know why.
Listen, very wealthy. He's a big bourbon guy. Buys ridiculous bottles of bourbon. But he's the one that said, "Your well bourbon." He said, it's a secret. Evan Williams, you cannot... If I taste test Evan Williams and like a Jack Daniels or a Jim Beam, you can't tell the difference. So stock up. Buy the $20 handle instead of the $50 handle. This guy's very good with money, too. He won't spend it. So I started doing that, and I was like, you really can't tell a difference. That big of a difference between... You can, Angie can. Jack has a little better finish. You know what I mean? A lot better finish. But Evan isn't... Have you even had it?
I have. If I'm going to have...
What do you say about Jack, though? What's Jack Daniels to you? Like, do you like it?
Are you talking about just kind of the run-of-the-mill, I'm going to go and grab a bottle of Jack?
Yeah.
Because...
Not Gentleman's Jack.
Yeah, Gentleman Jack I love.
I love it, too.
It's
And I got that
it's
single
really
barrel
good.
for my birthday.
Yeah.
That was really
That's
good.
a single barrel Jack. I've got a
was
I've got a
good.
bottle of that, and that's really really good.
Yeah.
Gentleman Jack with the cold filtration process, I think, is really 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 good. Not cold filtration. Cold. There's a special process Gentleman Jack goes through, but the run of the mill Jack is kind of like it for me. That's the well.
Right.
If I was going to get a well,
Yeah.
but
It's an expensive well, though.
I'm going a little overboard about Evan Williams because to me, I think the line that I would actually draw would be between Evan Williams and Southern Comfort.
No Southern Comfort for me. It's got a weird taste to it.
To
I'm not
me,
a fan.
I OD'd on Southern Comfort in high school and college.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things that you get because it's cheap and you're a high school student
Right.
and you're underaged anyway. So
Or you've got 4 kids with a grandchild on the way in your house, and you're like, I can't keep buying bottles of $40 bourbon because these kids are making me drink it all. I have to go back out, so you have to get it well. So I have to drink like a high school student some nights. But I haven't been drinking bourbon through the week unless you come over.
well,
I've cut that off.
I'm glad I'm a good influence.
I'm trying to cut back a little bit. It's hard.
Every time I'm worried that there might be a perception that my God, he drinks. Look at all of this bourbon. He talks about bourbon. I look up and I realize, I haven't touched alcohol in 5 days.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's a conscious decision. It's just not central to my experience. It's not central to what I need to do. It's not central to me getting to sleep. It's not central to me calming down after a long day at work.
Right.
It's just, it doesn't even hit my consciousness to having a drink.
Right.
So that kind of calms me down. It's like, you know what? No, I'm good. So
It hits my consciousness. We usually have a glass of wine at least every night to wind down. But I'm glad that I've done. I didn't last year. Usually I take a month off just to see myself.
a lot of people do that in January.
Yeah.
They'll dry out
I like
in
to
January.
do it in February, which I'm not. January, February, because it's just easier. Because once March gets here, you got March Madness. And in the summer, I like beer in the summer. Now I don't drink it. I don't drink much beer right now when it's cool for some reason. Unless I'm out. It's weird. Like at home, when I get home after work and I'm grilling, I'll drink beer. I'll have a beer while I'm grilling. But if it's not warm or I'm not out grilling, I don't really drink beer.
So I go to the farmers market here in Charleston, and there's a place called the wine shop.
Right.
And in the wine shop, they sell obviously wine, but they also have a beer section and a cheese section.
Very nice.
Really nice cheese. And I was watching basketball. I think it was last weekend. And so I thought, you know what? There's a lot of basketball on. I had no social plans. You guys weren't going to be around. I wasn't going to see you.
Right.
Friday was birthday, out of town, whatnot.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going to buy 4 beers. You can buy singles.
Yeah, I've done it there before where you get the...
And some of them, are expensive, exotic stuff, and like Trappist ale
Yeah.
made by the
I
Belgian
don't like
monks.
the thick stuff.
And so I'm looking. I'm going to pick out. I'm like, I'm going to get 4, and there, buried among the shelves, was hams. For
Hams?
60 cents a bottle.
What?
Actually, it was a can. 60 cents a can. When I was in college, I lived in dorms all for 3 years. And one of the years, my sophomore year, the section of my dorm, we called ourselves the hamsters. Because all we did is we drank hams.
Really? I don't think I've ever had a hams.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I think I just saw them at Walmart
Yeah.
in the back.
Hams.
In the cold section.
They're it's cheap.
And I was wondering about it because I saw how cheap it was.
Oh my God,
It's like
it's
the
cheap.
old the old yellow cans of Miller, not Miller, Coors.
Yes.
With the old stuff, you know what I mean, like the banquet.
Hams is actually a step below Coors. I mean, Hams is actually a step below Pabst.
Really?
Again, college students, quality is not imperative. Quantity absolutely is. So I bought a can of hams, and I poured it out. I mean, you've probably seen that kind of Pilsner, Schlitz Pilsner.
Yeah.
I found 2 of those, believe it or not, at like a flea market in Pittsburgh, of all places, about 8-9 years ago. So whenever I have a good beer that I want in a Pilsner glass, I'll pull out these Schlitz Pilsner glasses and I poured the hams in there.
Is that sacrilegious?
Well, yeah, the glass didn't melt or shatter, so that was good sign number 1. But it was a throwback because, honestly, I don't know if I have consciously had a hams since I was in college, which much as like to say that's 4 or 5 years ago. It was a little bit longer than that.
It's been a minute.
I'm not going to say it was good beer, but it wasn't as bad as in my memory I thought it was. It was typical American cheap beer, which is super light.
It's easy to drink.
Super easy to drink.
You chug it down, yeah.
And I say all this because it kind of goes back to your comment about how you like to drink beer in the summer.
I do.
What I like in the summer is just an ice cold Pilsner.
I do too. I'm the same way.
And
where did I have it?
IPA fills you up.
I'm getting old because I used to be able to drink them. Like, I remember when I lived in Atlanta, like, we would drink them all the time. Me and our brothers, we'd come over and we'd drink 5, 6 each. If I drink 2 now, I'm done. And I don't mean drunk done. I'm, like, miserable done.
All right, so let's do lists.
Do what?
Lists.
Lists?
Top 3 beers.
Top 3 beers.
By brand.
My favorite beer, I have to give it to Sweetwater.
Oh yeah, you really like that.
I love this taste.
The Sweetwater IPA.
The Sweetwater IPA, it's like lighter. It's like a 6%, 6.3% alcohol content. It seems like I'd peg them with. I can see an IPA and go, that's over 7, 8. It just doesn't taste right for me.
Isn't that brewed in Atlanta or
Oh,
Georgia?
Yeah.
It's Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, we went there. I don't know if I ever told you that's how when I first lived there, my brother we kind of found it, but it was this little place. It wasn't big. It's these 3 stoners from Colorado talked their parents into not going to college and starting a brewery and begged for some seed money. They started it, and it's right by Georgia Tech. But I remember going down there because it was genius. They had, once they got it built up, they would pay the Georgia Tech students in beer to help them.
You're kidding me.
Pack it and stuff. But what they did is they had this. You would go down to the brew. Me and my brothers did this once a week for a while. It ended up every couple weeks. That's how we connected. We'd all meet there. You paid when it first started, you paid $8. You got a pint glass with their logo on it, and they'd have different pint glasses every time. And they would have 6 tickets in it, and by law they could fill them 3/4 of the way. So for $8, you got 6 pours in a pint glass, so probably 12 ounces a pour. And they had live music, and they called it the tour. You could come and do the tour, so you paid $8 for the tour, but really you just hung out there with your people. You drank, listened to live music, and did whatever after that. Eventually went to $10. It blew up. They expanded in that district, in the industrial area, and then ended up selling for like 49% of it or something like that for $100 and some million. So it's pretty good seed money, mom and pop. So I mean,
you think?
Because you get in the distilling business.
You think?
Bourbon though. But yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so Sweetwater.
I like Stone too. I like their 60-minute IPA.
Stone Brewing?
Stone.
Yeah, Stone Brewing has good stuff.
I love them. I like so many though. There's so many. Like if I'm just gonna have a beer, I do like an IPA a lot. It's just I'm the guy now. Like if I'm gonna go out.
When you say a beer, if you're gonna have one beer.
If I'm gonna have one beer, I'll get an IPA.
See.
But if I'm going to drink, like if we're going to go out and I'm going to be hanging out for the night or we're going to be watching a ball game and I'm going to sit there and order 4 or 5 beers, I got to go with a light beer.
It's funny because in the summer I want a Pilsner.
Yeah.
I want a
Stella. I love Stella.
Stella.
It's one of my favorites.
To me, Stella is like a well drink.
Mm.
if it's the summer and Stella's available, and
It's on tap.
I'm not feeling like I want to try, I want to be adventurous, give me a Stella all day long. Oscar
Yeah.
actually has a really good Pilsner. In the winter, if I'm going to have just one or two, I like stouts and porters, which are that heavier, bigger, almost
Right.
Guinness-like. And you know what my favorite is? I've discovered this. Any peanut butter porter.
Really? I've never had
I've
it.
never had. I know there's so many different kinds of stouts and porters, but if you can find a peanut butter porter,
I'll try it.
I'll find. We'll do one this weekend. It
All
is
right.
outstanding. Again, in the winter when it's cold out, and you're not looking to get effed up, and
Right.
you're gonna have one or two. Give me a peanut butter porter any day of the week, or a coffee stout. A coffee stout.
I would
is
try a coffee stout. It's just
always
every
really
time I
good.
think to try one, I'm out. I don't want to try it when I'm out. It's
Have you ever? And this is one I'm kind of
Two-Hearted
discovering.
Ale. That's one.
Two-Hearted
that I
Ale.
love. I
Very
love
good.
Two-Hearted Ale. Love
And
it.
here in West Virginia, I'll tell you what I also enjoy year-round, but especially in the summer, ice cold, is a Big Timber Blonde.
I love. Yes,
Big Timber out of
Blonde
Elkins
is awesome.
is
Yes, I forgot
really,
about that.
really
It is
good.
good. It is really good.
So top 3 bourbons. List.
Oh gosh, I have to break out my whiskey journal.
Yeah, Jeff and I have a whiskey journal. We have an app. It's an app.
It's an app, yeah. It's
Just
great
off the
though
head.
because you can.
Just off the top of your head.
I'm gonna say the best one that I would say the best one I've had has got to be that 18-year Jameson.
That was really, really good.
I mean, that was so. And maybe I'm glorifying it because
it was 18 years old.
it was 18 years old and it was. Maybe I savored it more, but man, that was incredible.
12-year-old Whistle Pig was. I've had 12-year-old Whistle Pig,
yeah.
which is really good.
The Whistle Pig is incredible. That Rabbit Hole I brought back for you was pretty good too.
The Rabbit Hole that is finished in sherry casks.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking
Yes.
about with the purple label.
Which is kind of how we got the name of this.
That's right.
My
Rabbit
guest
Hole.
segment.
They will be a sponsor eventually.
Eventually, Rabbit Hole. Yeah, that Rabbit Hole is a craft distillery in Louisville, Kentucky. Although while they're building, I don't know if they finished the new headquarters and distillery in Louisville. While they were building it, they actually were doing the distilling in Newport, Kentucky, which is how I.
Oh, really?
Which is how I found it. Yeah,
In Newport?
in Newport, right
Down
across,
in Cincinnati
right
area?
across the river
Where
from
Angie's from.
right across
Yeah.
the river from Cincinnati. For about 2 years, while Rabbit Hole was building its new distillery and corporate offices, the distilling was taking place they were in essence renting
Right.
space in a craft distillery in Newport.
Well, I saw, because I follow on Instagram, and I did, or was it TikTok I follow on? I'm following both of them, but I saw they were in Louisville today. I just don't know if they're there
Yeah.
permanently or if that's just
Yes,
they're
yes.
promoting it.
I'm assuming by now that they have completed the distillery in the headquarters. So
I love Louisville.
Louisville. Yep. I was married in Louisville. I know it well.
You were married in Louisville?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So lists.
So
Come on, I know you read all the time. Come up with a list.
I read all the time.
You're always
Come
you
up
and
with-
Angie are always coming up with stuff. Lists. Your lists.
Yeah, because I get them before
Or
we
your
start
questions.
the podcast.
Oh, so you're not quick to the draw here.
I can be quick to the
I just
draw.
gave you. How about top three celebrity lust female singers?
Celebrity female singers?
Yeah.
I mean, J-Lo. Boom.
Your top three that if you got a hall pass.
If I got a J-Lo, and J-Lo.
Way to branch off because
Okay.
J-Lo looks exactly like Ange.
Well, no, not. I mean,
Other than they're female, they have nothing in common.
we got J-Lo. Who else do we got? Female artists.
Musicians.
Right.
And they can do other things, but they primarily musicians.
Right. But not a porn star that plays the piano on the side. That's not a musician, right?
If you know that a female porn star plays piano, actually that would just cause me to worry about you because you know way too much about said porn star.
No, I don't. I'm just having fun.
You're just trying to establish boundaries there on the category?
I'm trying to. You went with this. I was going to go with like three best cities, 3 favorite cities.
Playing the piano? No, but if she plays the guitar,
I'm all in. It's definitely my top 3. Good Lord.
And your creep factor doesn't make a difference. That mathematical formula that you and Angie have come up with.
Which one?
The one.
The half your age plus 7?
Right. Although I think mine would all be.
I think all mine are going to be older than the creep factor that kicks in. I don't know. It's weird. I think
One of mine might be close. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, that's a good choice.
Would definitely be.
Taylor Swift.
Oh,
I can't think of any
since we haven't gone down a rabbit hole yet, let me go down a rabbit hole. Taylor Swift.
All right.
So on my sports talk show that
Right.
I want you to be a part of soon.
I would love to.
I was playing Taylor Swift as an intro. We're having a break, and I'm playing the Taylor Swift song, and Scott comes in.
Shit?
No, Scott comes in, and we're off mic. Obviously, mics are off. The song's playing. He looks at me and goes, "Taylor Swift?" I said, "Yeah," and he fist pumped me.
What?
And I thought, "Oh my God, this has to be 2021, when 2 middle-aged white guys are fist bumping." Not because Taylor Swift's hot, not because of her latest Instagram post in a bathing suit, but because a song of hers
How do you know that?
is so good. Because her last 2 albums that Taylor Swift has put out have been outrageously good. Because she put both of them out during the pandemic since last March.
Right.
Have I talked to you about this?
Yeah, we talked about it. With,
with Bone Iver.
With Bone Iver.
And The National.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are some good
So I
influences.
just thought it was kind of super
It is
funny
cool,
that 2
though,
guys
that
were
they-
fist bumping over
that's
Taylor
ironic.
Swift music. Man, it's great.
It's really ironic.
Oh my God! All right, so Taylor Swift's on my list. J Lo's on your list. Is this that hard?
I can't think of any artists. I don't listen to music anymore, I don't think.
What do you mean you don't listen to music?
I listen to music. We actually listen to music here a lot, like when we're hanging out. But I listen to podcasts and books and freaking... It seems like when I'm in my car.
Do you know what that's a sign of?
That I'm getting old?
Yes. Because I'm the same way. I mean, I
I feel like I'm soaking in so much knowledge, though. Like I'm learning something all the time. And I love music, obviously. Like we talked about the other night, because the Reeds, what is it? The women that you introduced us to?
Yeah, the Reeds. We went to
God, we have them on our playlist that we
Really?
listen to while we play games at night, because we'll play Scrabble. We're old, man. We'll play Scrabble or Monopoly or something, you know.
I heard that on a recent podcast you and Angie did about you're playing old. You're old and you're playing Scrabble, and you know what? Every fiber of my being wanted to have a counter argument to that, and I didn't come up with anything. So yeah, you are old because
we're
you're
old.
playing Scrabble every night.
It's a great indicator of how alcohol affects your mental ability.
Oh yeah.
Because you start out and you poured a drink and you haven't taken a drink and you're like on fire. You know, you're just coming up with words. You're not having to check them. And you get a drink and a half in and you start going, come on, let's go.
I downloaded the app Wordscapes
I did too, because of you.
about a month ago,
addictive.
and it's like super addictive.
And that's what they do to you. They tell you that you're keeping yourself from
they tell you it's mentally
dementia.
right?
You know, like
it's
you're going to be
mentally-
okay.
Okay, but does that mean my alarm goes off my roller? I'm going to do 2 puzzles before I get up, and I'm going to
And
do
then
2
you're
before I
6
go
in.
to bed. And you know, I'm sitting at a stoplight. I'll do 3 words. I'll find 3 words.
I
my
see.
God.
It's addictive. And then it suggests other games. And you know what? You know what you've done to me? You made me relapse. Because 2 years ago, you know what I did for New Year's? Until this, almost 2 full years. Actually, it was 2 full years. One day I go, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with games. I'm deleting all of them off my phone, and when I'm walking to the bathroom or when I'm sitting at a stoplight and I have 2 seconds, I'm reading something. And I did. For almost 2 years, I haven't had a game on my phone. And then you showed me that one. I'm like, but that can make me smarter.
Right, it does.
So I downloaded it, and I
it
started
does.
playing it. And then Angie gets it, and she downloaded another one, which is, it's the same people, but it's like blocks that fall. Like she has to find the words. It's the same type thing. It's almost exactly the same, but it's just...
Well, you're welcome.
I guess. It's another addiction.
Yeah, it's another addiction.
Which we need.
The longest running game that I have on my iPad that I actually play, because I have 4 different versions of Angry Birds. I was
addicted to Angry Birds.
Addicted to Angry Birds back in the
so
day.
addicted.
And it's still on my iPad, but I haven't played in a long time. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how long I did this. And one of them I still play multiple times a day.
Really?
The one that I've actually made a conscious decision to break free. And I do feel a little bit like an addiction because I feel the impulse and I have to consciously fight the impulse.
It's a dopamine rush.
Is Clash of Clans.
Really? I see the ads for that and I'm like, this looks like it could be a problem.
Yeah. In the last 6 months, I think I've broken free. Actually, the next step to break free will be to delete it from my iPad, which I haven't done with that or Angry Birds. Because I lose all my data, man. I have years of data.
That's true. That's the addictive part. It stores it for you, so you freaking...
One that I downloaded at virtually the same time as Clash of Clans. Do you want to know how long ago it's been?
I didn't think the game was that old.
I think it's like 6-7 years.
Clash of the Clans?
Boom Beach.
I know what that is.
Boom Beach. I play it multiple times a day.
Boom Beach?
Boom Beach.
I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't know about this.
I try to rationalize and intellectualize why I'm still playing Boom Beach when I max out, and then like every year or so they increase the max a little bit, and I max out again, and I'm just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm just like, I think that I just like it because it's familiar and it's just a break. And I'm playing less Boom Beach now that I'm wordscaping. So that's probably a good thing.
It's good. And all of that means less porn. That's the great thing.
That's,
you know, your phone, you're just...
Roll over in the morning.
We're getting old. We don't look
roll
at porn
over in the morning,
anymore.
no porn. I'm doing wordscapes, man.
You know the random thing for me, here's how random I am. Angie's wiped out last night. Like, completely wiped out. She has to get up. Like we told you, she has the guy, you know, Donnie, that she trains early in the morning. So she's got to get up really early. I already have a 2-hour delay, and that means I don't need to go in. I don't need to rush into my office in Tays Valley.
And that was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Last night. I thought they canceled school altogether.
They did yesterday, but today there's a 2-hour delay.
Oh, okay.
And so last night...
Oh, yeah, today...
She's passing out.
We're
she's like, I
taking
gotta
this
go
on
to
a Wednesday.
bed, and I'm not tired. She goes to bed. I go down to get some water. I'm like, this is how random. I don't know where...
Water. Is that what they call Evan Williams today?
No,
Is that what the kids call
Listen, I was done with I had a little wine left.
Dad, I'm going to get some
water.
Water. Yeah, water. That's what's in my Coke. Water.
So I had some wine left, and I was like, I'm not ready to go to bed, but I'm going to get in bed, and I'm going to watch something. I said, I'm going to get Gangs of New York. Why did I crave Gangs of New York?
On Netflix?
It wasn't on Netflix. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to make up another username and password for HBO to get a free trial, so I could watch it. I didn't get through it. I have time though, because I watched probably half of it, and then I was like falling asleep. But I don't know why. It was like in 2002, Martin Scorsese. Remember?
Yeah. Oh,
Leonardo
that
DiCaprio.
old, yeah. Because I think it's a Netflix series or something, kind of a spin-off.
Yeah, maybe.
But now I know the one you're talking about.
But the actual movie,
the Irish gangs,
like all those gangs in New York,
back in late 1800s,
50 something or 1846, 1870s.
Okay, I'm just going to point something out before I posit another list. Okay. And this is so self-deprecating because this is pitiful. because I said top 3 female musicians lust list. We each came up with one before we completely went away from it, and we never, instead of like, that should be, we should be able to rattle that off.
Well, and we should
got
be
completely
excited
on a tangent, rabbit hole, whatever, and we're about to go to top 3 series on streaming that we've seen in the last pandemic year.
But we should be excited about the girls. Are we that old?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
We got distracted by games and a movie from 20 years ago.
So you're saying girls step it up because they're not interested in you?
That's what it is. No, I'm saying, what is wrong with me? Do I need TRT? Is it TRT?
What's TRT? TLC?
Testosterone replacement therapy? What is going on that I'm like, just skip over the girls? J-Lo will do. Let's talk about freaking Angry Birds.
Hello, doctor. I'd like TRT. Well, lay off the Evan Williams first. And let's just go
let's
from
calm
there.
down, Doc.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go from
there. We live
there.
in a day where we patch things up, okay? We don't fix them.
Are we serious? We can't. We cannot. We cannot. All right, how about just top 3 celebrity lust list, period? Regardless of genre or industry or career. Because I have one.
What's the chick off of I don't know why, but she does it for me off of Big Bang Theory.
Oh, Kelly
Cooper.
Kukomo or something?
Yeah. She's definitely on the list.
Kate Beckinsale is on mine.
Kate Beckinsale.
Her Instagram is bloody brilliant.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, she's funny. She's actually hysterically funny. But Kate
that always
Beckinsale.
helps.
Yeah. And she, at age like 44, dumped her 24-year-old boyfriend in the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably annoying.
Got a chance.
24.
Yeah, no kidding. Got a chance.
It's got to be really annoying.
Come on, man. You need somebody close to your own age.
You have to. I mean, I get it. Some people are old souls, right?
So that's 2. I'm not going to allow us to get distracted again. For God's sake, we have to be able to come up with a 3rd, right?
I can go down rabbit holes. I mean, why did I have a crush on Melinda Carlisle back in the day? Was it Belinda Carlisle?
Oh, she had serious cheeks. She had chipmunk cheeks.
Gosh, I don't know
the
what
Go-Go's.
it was. Yeah. Just
Can
one of
you
those.
hear me?
Yes, one of those.
We talk about it.
I tell you, this is a wild topic. Is somebody that might not be all that hot, like when you look at them so much, but their voice just kills you. Nelly Furtado.
Oh yeah. She's Canadian. Hey there.
Edgy, sexy.
If you want to go lead singers of bands from the 80s who I would do today in a heartbeat, if I got a hall pass, not that I need a hall pass these days.
Right.
Susanna Hoffs, lead singer of the Bangles.
Oh yeah.
Remember the Bangles?
Still good?
Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, follow her on Instagram. Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's good information. You know, I just would be nervous if I got a hall pass because to disappoint another woman would just be so humiliating. I have one that's forgiving enough.
I'm just so happy that you have a firm grasp of your self-worth and a good idea of your own shortcomings. It's touching. It's warming. You're an inspiration.
A lot of effort, though.
You're an inspiration to sensitive men everywhere.
I'm enthusiastic. Try hard.
Okay, I'm gonna take this straight to a dark place.
Oh boy.
Debbie Does Dallas.
That's
Linda
old.
Lovelace.
Yeah.
Grabbing the guy's head and says, "Do you mind if I smoke while you eat?" For some reason that flew through my head when you said you're enthusiastic. It's like,
yeah, hey, you gonna smoke, do whatever you want.
You know, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Just wake me when you're done.
Oh God.
Wow. Okay. Liz. Unless you want to go completely in a different direction.
No, I like the list. I'm trying to think, like you said, streaming.
Oh, what are your top three? What last year since the pandemic has hit? Of course, streaming services have absolutely
Went through the roof.
hit the stratosphere because of the pandemic, and it'll be kind of interesting now that the COVID vaccine is taking hold and people are slowly starting to go back to work. What's going to happen to those streaming services in terms of
you see what they're doing with the movies? I mean, even Wonder Woman. It was not only released in the theaters but on HBO Max.
Well, and that's another one of those. It'll be interesting to see what the paradigm is going to go into the future. Whether that's going to be a thing or whether that's kind of a temporary thing with
I
releases
think it's temporary.
now.
People love movies.
Well,
but you can get.
We're not in a rabbit hole. I feel like
you can get a 75-inch TV and make your own theater for freaking $600 now. You know what I mean? You can go to Walmart and get your freaking. Remember when back 10 years ago, and you wanted to get a 55-inch TV and you had to pay $1,800.
Correct. But it's still not the same
It's not
experience.
the experience.
It's still not
the smell, the vibration, the sound.
Right. And I'm thinking of a movie. I'm thinking the last movie I saw in the theater that I thought there is no way I would like this nearly as much as it on a even a 75-inch screen at home. I think it was Dunkirk. Did you see Dunkirk?
Mm-mm.
With Kevin Branagh?
Nah.
Or Kenneth Branagh, sorry. First of all, a high recommend. Do you know what Dunkirk is?
Sounds
World War
historic.
II?
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Dunkirk, when the Nazis turned west after invading Poland in the spring of 1940, the Blitzkrieg hit Western Europe and drove across, they called it the Low Countries, like Belgium and the Netherlands,
right,
and into France.
Okay.
The British Expeditionary Force, the British Army, was caught, and the remnants of the French Army, some remnants, were caught at a port called Dunkirk, which was actually in Belgium. And the movie is set over the course of a few days when German forces were closing in on Dunkirk, trying to, in essence, destroy the British Army.
Mm-hmm.
And the British Navy was in a desperate operation to evacuate as many men as possible. Screw the machines, screw the tanks, they were trying to just get as many men out as possible. And I knew before the movie about the inspirational story. I've read books. I just knew about it because of my interests. But it's a movie set around that. And it is so cool. I mean, it's high recommend.
I'd love it.
It's one of those that in the theater, the cinematography is spectacular. The sound is spectacular.
Yeah.
The action. I mean, you're in the air. You're underwater. You're in ships sinking. You are on a beach with men being strafed by German, fighter. It's fantastic. So that's why I think there are always going to be movie theaters.
Oh, I do too.
And that's also why I think it's fascinating what happened last week with the stock of GameStop.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about what was going on with GameStop.
Damn it.
But also involved in that kind of struggle,
AMC.
bubble struggle, whatever,
Right.
was AMC.
Right.
Which owns so many movie theaters around the country. And
That's right.
I hope they make it. I do hope that
I
movie
do
theaters
too.
make it.
I hope they make it.
Because no matter what the streaming services do, I want the theater, man. I want to go see
I love
Dunkirk in a
movies.
theater.
Yeah.
I do. And
You
Wonder
can't get
Woman.
the
I want to
same
see Wonder Woman in a
experience.
theater as opposed to...
For the last 6-7 years or more, every Star Wars that comes out, me and Nate go to see it. And you can't, he watches them
That
down there.
has
It's
to be
not the same.
It has to be in a theater, doesn't it?
Has to. I mean, he watches them over and over again at TV, but it is not. You know how it is. Theater is just the surround sound. It's incredible.
So, put aside movies, streaming service shows, series, or limited engagement series.
God, we stream.
Because I know you guys watch a lot of them.
What did we watch?
And you've told me about having to forcibly put Angie's tongue back into her mouth watching Bridgerton.
She liked that. Yeah, that was good. And I think there's a second season she'll be ready for. It's good. It doesn't bother
Define
me.
ready.
She's ready.
Define ready.
I can't.
Good, probably good.
It's no, it was a good I watched it too. It was interesting. They did a good job with
And I
it.
haven't. It's on my queue.
Well, I say they did a good job with it, like I'm a critic, like I know what the hell I'm talking about. Like they did great. No,
the period set pieces were
but I am
astonishing,
interested in that. I am so interested in history.
The costumes for the
Yes,
time period were
that
just
stuff is
astounding,
very
so
interesting.
authentic and true to period.
It is.
Although I noticed the kerchief on the courier was really 50 years earlier than when this was supposed to be.
What was cool about it, to me, is when they'd have a ball or when there'd be music playing and it'd be symphony music, but it would be modern day. It might be Taylor Swift, or maybe so. You're like, we're sitting here looking at each other like, what is that? What is that? I know that.
Scarlett Johansson, Anne Hathaway.
It's fantastic.
Scarlett Johansson, Anne Hathaway, tied for third on my list.
Okay, I get
By
that.
the way, and I said that because when you're talking about a ball,
Right.
Anne
You
Hathaway.
want them on each. Yeah. I get it.
I've seen her in movies where she's like a princess at a ball.
Yeah, Anne
in a
Hathaway
period
is a
piece.
different one. That.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Heartbeat.
Anyway.
Okay, so Schitt's Creek.
Bridgerton. Schitt's Creek's, I think, her favorite show of all time.
Brilliant.
Like we went through. You watched it?
I
Or are you
am
watching it?
on episode 7 in the 6th and final season.
And make sure you watch the recap after it's all over. Like the hour long, it'll make you sad, I think.
And that's the thing. Here's the thing about
So
even
good.
series, any series. If it's bad, I'm fine with it ending when I reach the end.
Right, yeah.
If it's really good, breaks my heart.
Right.
And I can already tell that I have slowed down significantly
Watching
my
it?
viewing of Schitt's Creek just because I know I'm going to be so sad when it ends.
They got great characters.
Oh my
And
God.
they get better though. It's like the first season isn't even when they're great.
Well, they evolve.
They evolve, but it's just like you get into that third season, fourth season, you're like, you fall in love with them.
Which, by the way, the daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, she's a strong candidate to be on my top 5.
But did you see?
I'm
have
just
you heard the
expanding
story
that.
about
I'm
her?
expanding that to 5 instead of 3.
We're
She is
It's getting much easier for you.
strong. She's strong. Yeah, I know her background. She's Canadian. They're all Canadian.
But she lucked into the show.
She completely lucked into the show.
Like wasn't even supposed to be on it. He just was like, "That's her."
Right.
It's
After
crazy.
she and her husband, their house burned down, and he's
Yeah.
in a band that's going nowhere.
She
and-
was phenomenal in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, the dad. What's his name? Him and the gay son.
Right, David.
That's his real son.
It's his real son, and
And
Twyla.
his daughter. And Twyla.
is Twyla,
his
the daughter.
I didn't know that till after the
And
series
Catherine
was over.
O'Hara as Moira Rose is
She's
just-
incredible, man. She's unbelievable. She
Jeffrey! Don't like the way you pontificate. I mean, you could. Oh, yes. It's
so
just-
good. So good.
And Emily Hampshire, who's Stevie. Do you know her backstory?
Stevie, no, but I love her in the show.
So, yeah, she is.
I love her. She's one of my favorite characters.
She's
easily.
so understated. She's a
She's
little
in
more
the
active.
dry humor, like she's
I feel
great.
like episodes 3 to 5, she was too background, but her super dry sense of humor.
Oh, it's great.
That to me the most memorable thing about seasons 2 to 5 or 3 to 5 for her was if you notice the scenes that she was in, it would end and they would be on her face, and just kind of this
Yeah.
smirky smile would start to creep up, and the camera would linger there for probably just a beat or two longer than you would think. And she was
I
so
can see what
good
she's
in that
talking
role.
about. She's so good.
Emily
Gosh,
Hampshire. She was dating, I think they were engaged, actually, to a transgender woman. I think a man becoming a woman.
Okay.
Transgender in that direction.
Right.
And they recently broke it off. But she just a fascinating backstory to her. So Schitt's Creek is on my list of best streaming.
That's one that we've been watching for a while. We were waiting. We waited. We got into it earlier, and we waited and waited for seasons to come out, which is frustrating.
I'm glad I waited until all of them were out before starting to watch it. I'll give you my number 2, Ted Lasso, on Apple.
Love Ted Lasso. Yeah, love it. It's a heartwarming comedy. Like it's like you got all of it. You got the heartwarming feelings and the freaking just dumb comedy.
Did you, when you watched the first episode of Ted Lasso, did you think it would turn out to be as compelling and good as it did?
No. I just love the guy. What's his name? I forget his name.
Jason Sudeikis.
I love Jason. And I said, you know what? I got this
actor.
because I got a new phone. So I got a free year of Apple TV.
Me too.
I was like, I like Jason Sudeikis. There's no way this is going to be good. I remember
Sudeikis.
it was on a Saturday afternoon. I think I didn't have anything to do. I was waiting on some games to come on. And I thought, I'm going to start it. And like 2 episodes in, I'm like, this is amazing. I crushed this first season. I watched it so fast.
Same thing. Got a new phone. Free for a year. And I delayed activating that free. You had like 90 days or something.
Right.
So I delayed to like right at the end of the 90 days. And then it was another month or 2 before I started watching.
Did you watch that other one I told you about? That was amazing. What was it called? It was in the Middle East. It's on Apple. It's based in the Middle East.
Not Jack Ryan. That's Netflix.
No. This one I was like, why do I want to watch this? It's called, what's the capital of Saudi Arabia? Tahar?
Riyadh. No. Oh, I know what you're talking about though. Yes. Is it the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
no,
gets
I know what you're
trapped
talking
there.
about. I need Tehran.
It's freaking amazing. I don't know why I
Capital
love
of
stuff
Iran.
like that. Capital of Iran. Sorry, I don't know why I said Saudi Arabia.
Come on, man.
It's
All right,
all
we're
the
gonna
same.
when we end this, we're gonna go.
We're gonna get the globe out.
We're gonna educate you on the geography
Let's
of the
do
Middle
it.
East. I want to see Tehran. I haven't seen
They
it
had over
yet.
800 beheadings in Saudi Arabia last year. They still do it real style over there. I don't think it's good. See, if I said that and I was over there, I would be beheaded. Is that crazy to think that just me reacting and saying the wrong thing would get me beheaded?
Look,
Going against the country, against the government?
let me tell you something. If you actually dug deep into the particulars of the close relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States, and you dug deep into some of the things that Saudi Arabia does, stands for, tolerates, there would be a part of you that would say, how the hell? Such as Saudi Arabia allowed women to drive, to get driver's license
It just
for
happened.
the first
didn't it?
time about a year ago. Think about that.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they have things under control. What are their auto rates? Kidding.
Oh my God.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke.
It is one of the more repressive regimes in the world that sits atop vast quantities of oil. And what's going to be super interesting over the course of our, hopefully, rest of our lives, which will be a few more decades,
Hopefully.
is going to be super interesting to see what happens to Saudi Arabia and the other Middle East oil-producing countries and all of the wealth generated and the cash flows especially, as there is a global movement to clean energy and green energy away from fossil fuels. Because that's coming.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's
coming
coming.
fast.
And, you know, Aramco, which is the Saudi oil company, went public for the first time about a year and a half ago. That was a huge step. And it's just going to be super interesting what impact, because the Saudi regime has been able to kind of keep a lid on social discontent because
Right.
all of the money that they can
Money
throw at
fixes
things.
everything.
Money fixes everything.
Oh yeah, it's winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when that money when that income starts to decrease precipitously, as I think is going to happen in our lifetime,
I do too. Yeah.
then what?
I know nothing about it. I just common sense says it's going to decrease.
Then what happens? And now they
Still gonna
have
be-
vast amounts of wealth tied up in assets that they would have to liquidate in order to continue with the social programs. They're just throwing money at their citizens.
funny
And,
thing-
and that's just not Saudi Arabia. That's all the oil producing.
Right, but the Middle East. I mean, that's what they said. I don't know what I was listening to, but they said it's funny. They're talking about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos going back and forth as the richest man in the world, and they said that's because the undisclosed. They're not documented. The Middle Eastern people.
Oh my God! Yes.
They don't let anybody know. They're over there
Right.
laughing, saying, "You're a quarter of my worth, and you're the richest man in the world. You're half my worth, and you're the richest man in the world." They're hundreds of billions, if not more. I mean, it's insane to think the wealth they have. But yeah, they can suppress any negative.
Okay, how the hell did we get on this?
It's a rabbit hole. It's the rabbit hole.
It's the rabbit hole. What
I don't know.
happens
I don't know.
when you and I get together?
I don't
what
know.
the hell?
It can go a lot of places.
Oh, it started. It's sometimes difficult to get out of the rabbit hole as opposed to like burrowing sideways. Because Tehran was one of your favorite.
That's right. And then we went and got
Streaming.
into rich people,
Right.
wealthy
So-
people.
Ted I'm getting out of this rabbit hole. Ted Lasso, Schitt's Creek. Started watching Shameless,
Shameless.
daughter turned me
I
on
haven't
Dairy
we haven't
Girls.
watched that.
which is so good.
We watch The Office every year. It's kind of like an ongoing show that we can't ever. But now you have to get Peacock to watch it.
Peacock Plus.
Peacock. It's like $4.99 a month.
Well, it's on Comedy Central still.
Comedy Central. That's
Which
right.
is
We'll
on
watch
cable.
it Sunday mornings while we're drinking coffee. We'll kick it on and watch it.
And
Let it play.
the
Never gets old ever.
And Pam and Angela
They have a
are
podcast.
real life
Yeah.
best friends. Have a podcast that they're going through every episode. Have a
Oh,
podcast.
really? I didn't
Yeah,
know
they started at
that.
the beginning and they're going in sequential order through every episode. And every time I
amazing.
watch The Office, I'm like, God, that was a brilliant show.
It's genius.
I mean, it was
It's
just
amazing.
unbelievably funny.
It's amazing. And the funny thing is some of the early stuff they couldn't do now. We are so woke now. You can't be funny.
Well, you can,
But not on
But
not on network TV.
but even some of the stuff they do now, I find so awkward. Like, do you
Yeah.
remember when
Yeah.
Mychal sprained his ankle and he was on crutches? And everyone was like, well, yeah, whatever. And he's like, no, you're being insensitive. We're having sensitivity training for disabled people. And he brought the disabled guy in.
Yes.
It was so... At the time, and every time I see that episode, I'm like, this is so awkward. It's painful to watch.
It is, but that's what's amazing. And that's why we need that. You need that in life. You need some awkward, painful moments.
That's why you have me over to podcast.
That's right. That's exactly right. And we've been doing it for an hour. We need refills. So I'd say you're just going to shut it off, and we'll do it again maybe next week.
We'll do it next week unless we're off tasting bourbon someplace else.
I need to get one of those portable little things. I want to get one. It's amazing.
Portable
Podcasting
little things.
anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They make them to where there's a handheld, and basically you can hook mics to them or whatever. You don't have to, I guess, but
How much are they?
a couple $100. Pretty nice. I have mics in there to stand.
We can get that done.
We should get that done.
We can get that done.
Pretty nice. I'll show it to you.
All right.
All right. It was
Peace.
fun. Peace out.